Hey everybody, International Stacker here, Detroit, Michigan, going to meet a YouTuber and stacker. Guess right now in the comments below, who do you think it's gonna be? Hint, I met this stacker one time before at a coin shop. So here we go. You'll probably recognize him by his voice.
One stacker on a journey to find silver. International Stacker.
Talking Bullion. What is up, my friend?
How you been?
This is the second time our hands have met in the great state of Michigan.
You betcha.
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Good, man.
Good to see you again.
You guys can't see, but he's literally got a gold chain around his neck. And if I didn't know him, maybe I would sick the goblin on him to grab it for the next mega guy. All right, we're here to talk about the secrets of gold and silver. So let's just jump straight into the conspiracy of all this.
Okay.
So first question, actually it's a hot topic. What do you think at the end of the year, December 31st or January 1st, silver, the spot price will be for silver? I'm going to hold you 100% accountable for this.
Well, if you watch my channel, I never predict
the
prices. But I think it's struggling right now, and I don't know why. With all the crap going on, you would think this.
So you think
silver
under
and gold,
30 or over 30?
Oh, it's going to be under 30 for sure.
Now let me ask you a question. What happened to silver and gold in 2008? Before it skyrocketed?
I'm not sure, actually.
It pulled back with the entire market. So what happens is you have a pullback from the market and people are like, oh, is this a long-term thing? Is this not? And if people think it's a long-term thing, then you see the flood of money out of the market into other things, commodities, gold, silver. I think this time we'll see a bit of it with younger folks into cryptos. But still, you always have people waiting. The market all drops in tandem. Money floods into safe assets if people decide, hey, this is not just a bump on the road, we're about to get screwed, then the money comes out. I mean, that's
that makes perfect
I'm
sense.
hashtag not a financial advisor, but that's my opinion there. Yeah.
So you think it'll be below 30 at the end of the year?
Probably. I hope. I hope it hits $14 again so I can back the truck up.
That'd be great.
See, with my strategy, stacking for retirement, it protects me. Because I can get to retirement, I know I'm going to win over the long term with gold and silver.
Right.
And if it shoots the moon, Dogecoin. If it shoots the moon or anything happens, I can capitalize it on that and flip it into another asset, you know?
So I'm curious, can I ask a question? I'm curious why your ratio from gold to silver is so small. I mean, why haven't you really focused more on gold when you have so much silver?
Because I think there's way more upside potential in silver. I feel silver is extremely disjointed and undervalued. I mean, if you look at the gold to silver ratio, it was up to 123 or something recently. I think now it's in the 70s or 80s.
Right.
When traditionally it was like 1 to 16, 120, something. Do I think it's going to ever get back to 116? No. But what if I stack a bunch of silver at 1 to 80 or 1 to 70 or 1 to 100 and then it drops to 1 to 30? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think there's a lot of what's called arbitrage potential there, shifting from one metal to the other. I actually made a video on it showing that if you started with like 100 ounces and you bought no more ounces of silver over 20 years, if you arbitrage, you'd end up with 1,000 ounces of silver, right? So you can magnify that. But also too, the thing I like about silver a lot is best conductor of electricity for metal. We're moving into clean technology, solar panels, EVs. I mean, I talk about this all the time. So even if tomorrow everyone decides, oh, silver sucks, I don't want coins, I don't want silver jewelry, blah, 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 you're gonna still have a huge demand for it in the industry, industrial demand. So I feel like it's safe too. So I feel like silver under 30 is a great deal. I feel like silver under 20 is a fire sale. And here's the thing too, if I have 1 ounce of silver and I have 80 ounces of, or 1 ounce of gold, 80 ounces of silver, gold goes up $50 an ounce. Okay, I have 1 ounce times 50. If I have 80 ounces of silver and it goes up $5 an ounce, 5 times 80. You get what I'm saying? Right. So it really magnifies the returns. So that's why. But that being said, I am over 6,000 ounces now. I'm still stacking it, but I might start to stack a little bit more gold. I mean, I think I have 16 or 18 ounces of gold. So I feel like I do want a little bit more exposure to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, I feel that silver and gold is really valuable based on people's perception of it, right? I mean, I really, honestly, in my opinion, I don't think gold's really that rare. I mean, especially watching your videos when you're overseas and you're going through the airports and you're seeing all these shops and all this
Yeah,
gold.
it's everywhere, yeah.
Plus, if you look at every jewelry store in America, I mean, gold isn't as rare as I think they try to convince us that it is. It's plentiful. So silver. So I really think that, you know, gold's really value is convincing people that it's valuable, right? You'd have no problem finding plenty of gold if you want to go looking for it. So, I mean, our ratio is a little bit better with the gold to silver, but, you know, like you, we're more focused on silver because I think silver has better potential and it's easier to buy and you can consistently keep it going, especially people with the smaller budgets, right? They can easily spend. I try to convince people all the time, buy an ounce a month, throw it in a drawer. You'll be surprised how quickly that drawer becomes heavy when you try to open it, right?
Even
It
if you
happens
buy,
so quick.
even if you bought one silver dime a month or one silver dime a week, eventually you're gonna have a drawer full of silver dimes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, people will say, "Well, I can't stack." Dude, you can freaking recycle cans and get the $2.30 over a period of weeks, okay, to get one silver dime. Or you can go and do a bunch of coin roll hunting, which is essentially free silver. And people go, "Oh, it's not free silver because you paid 50 cents for that 50-cent piece." But yeah, but that 50-cent piece in silver is worth $3 or $4. So I am getting free silver when I do it that way. So there's ways to stack if you don't have a budget. And when I first started stacking, I was stacking very slowly. And luckily I made some decisions in my professional career that really propelled me. So I went from stacking on an extreme budget to stacking the way I stack now, just like stacking as hard as I can. However, for the most part, and even until recently, I've like sacrificed a lot to stack the way I do. You know, live like nobody else so you could live like nobody else later. Live like no one else now so you could live like no one else later.
Yeah.
I do like Dave Ramsey, but I hate his perspective on gold and silver.
Right.
Totally blind against it. I'm sad for him.
Exactly. Yep.
But anyways, I thought about calling into a show and be like, "Hey, what are you?" But anyways, I made a lot of sacrifices to stack the way I do now in terms of not going out, not doing this, not doing that. And like, I'm like, dude, I just need to hoard this freaking silver and gold like a dragon. And you know, it's worked for me. And you know, of over 6,000 ounces, my dollar cost average is in the 18s. And I've got some high premium stuff. I've got like 1,000 ounces of poured silver, but I just bought the deals. I bought the freaking deals. And here's what I like too about gold or silver. Say there's no huge run up, say it just gradually appreciates to, you know, chomp up that inflation. So it's a hedge against inflation, say it maintains that. Then you can take it, melt it down, pour some art pieces and sell it and make decent premiums on it because people like that stuff. Right. So my point is with gold and silver, even if it doesn't do what we think it's going to do, there's still ways to make money on it. And at the end of the day, guess what? You go to retire or you need it and you're going to pull it out some years down the road, you're going to have preserved that buying power. It's better than keeping it in the bank. The hidden tax of inflation, you know, we hit 5% in the freaking last month. So the hidden tax of inflation, that's making you essentially 5% a month, locking it in that over the long term. You know, so that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and I'm the kind of person when I buy my silver and gold, I don't like to get rid of it. I mean, I can be a flipper, but I have a hard time flipping because once I have it, it's hard to get. I mean, the way that I've been raised and brought up, and you know, financial situation. Once I have it, I hate to get rid of it, right? Even if I can make $3 on it or whatever. I actually did just flip that 2-piece ASE set.
How'd you do with it?
Got $400 for it.
Dude.
Got it in, mailed it out. Yeah.
I'm a hardcore flipper. I'm not attached to any piece of silver or
Well,
gold.
I mean, I just see it more as a future protection, and it's just my years are a little bit less than your years to get to where I'm going.
You just told me you're 22, dude.
I'm a little bit older than 22, but still, but it does make sense to flip, and you can flip too, right? Because I can turn it into more precious metals, right? I paid $180 for it, get $400 for it. That's easy math. That's a 10-ounce gold coin right there. So
Yeah, and in the end of days apocalypse, but in the end game, what's going to make you more? A lot more weight in gold and silver, or the premium on one coin? Stack that way, you know, stack that way. That's what I'm talking about.
So, and like you, as you know, I've got a lot of constitutional silver. And back when the gold silver ratio dropped to about 65 to 1, I actually traded some of it for some gold. I got a couple of videos on it.
Good play.
So I got about double what I paid for it because most of my constitutional silver, I bought it when it was 9x and 10x. And then they were giving me 19 and 20 for it when I cashed it in. I'm like,
Yeah, no brainer. The first time I met you was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at a coin show, and I remember you were looking for one of those boxes there to put your Constitutional in. And I think I even bought Constitutional during that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat Constitutional. And, you know, I've learned a lot from comments from, you know, subscribers and people watching videos. And I did my first full stack video. I think I had 700 ounces. And someone's like, how come you have no Constitutional silver? And at that point, my stacking career is like, I only want 0.999. I don't want this 80, 90% or what this, that. But then I started to get it, and then it really grew on me. And now I'm at the point where I'll just stack anything. About the only thing I won't stack is 40% Kennedys. Just because the low silver content takes up a lot of room. I'd much rather stack 90%, but I will stack foreign coins. But that being said, I would still buy 40%ers if I got a killer deal on it. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I like to stick, you know, Constitutional. Only way I'm going lower than 90% is when I go into an LCS and I can buy all the foreign silver at spot. And guess what? Half the time, half those coins you go on eBay and there's like good premiums on them. Like you're locking so much more value in that than just the silver content. You know what I mean?
But you're not, I mean, you're a flipper, but you don't generally sell though. You don't buy to sell, right? You buy to stack.
Yeah,
generally.
No. If I'm stacking weight, I'm planning to keep it. The only thing I'm buying to flip is like numismatic stuff. Like maybe I'm buying a slab coin, maybe I'm buying something from the U.S. Mint. You know, I've put out alerts in the past where viewers flipped with me and made like $1,400 on one coin. So that stuff, anything slabbed in boxes, I'm still buying to flip. I hate having things in slabs. I hate having things in boxes and packaging because that takes up so much room.
Space, yeah.
If it's just the silver or gold, you know, I'm all about that. I bought a lot of germanium mint stuff to flip. I've done well there. I had a feeling they were going to be strong, and they have been.
But they also send you stuff too, right?
Yeah, they send me every once in a while a coin or something to review.
For review, right?
But in like full transparency, I've probably bought 60, 70 ounces from germanium mint before they ever sent me a free coin. And half the free coins I got to review, I gave away in the mega. It's coming. The mega go.
Another one coming?
You know what I really want to get from them though is a kilo bar. Their kilo bars are sweet, so if I can find a good deal on that, I'll probably buy
Did you see how
one.
cheap those are? Below $800 now.
Where?
I just saw one the other day, Germania, for like $787 or something.
Where?
I can't believe it.
I need to buy
because they were
it.
$1,000 not that long ago.
I need to buy a couple of those.
What you see is on one of the emails. I get dozens of emails from.
Freaking forward me that email, bro. I'm about to buy that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It's like, holy smokes, this stuff is.
So what got you into stacking?
You know, I don't think there's really one event. A church we used to go to, the pastor had talked about, and this would have been 20 years ago, had talked about how he would buy gold and silver, and he had done very well with it. And of course, gold and silver is talked about in the Bible and things like that too. So you can find some biblical references to it, right? And so I think that was the first thing, because I remember buying what I initially started collecting was silver rounds with scriptures on them. I'd buy them on eBay for $3 or $4 back. I mean, they weren't hardly anything, right?
Yeah.
And I was just trying to get different ones and different things. Well, these are cool, but not really the stacker mindset, just the cool.
Too bad you didn't stack hardcore back then.
I got about 20 of them. We actually did stack quite a bit of gold back then, but we have a great...
By the way, folks, look at these. Show them what you're rolling with here. 2 gold with diamonds.
Diamonds.
Wow. All right, sorry.
From Mrs. TV.
Keep going.
So yeah, we've actually had quite a few ounces of gold, but we have a grandson that had an accident and some problems, and he needed some medical bills and things like that. So we sold almost all of our gold back then.
But that's what it's for.
$400 or $500 an ounce. I mean, it's like, but I mean, had we still had it, right? The thing would be, but exactly.
That's what it's for.
We used it for a good cause,
Yeah.
and we needed it because we didn't have that money in the bank, right? So, but after that, I think really, 3 or 4 years ago, I really saw, with the way the economy and the government, and just how things were kind of so much in turmoil. And really, ever since 2016, things really started just going so crazy.
I think I bought my first silver in like June of 2016, I want to say.
Yeah, and it was then when it's like we talked about it and said, we really got to get something besides our money sitting in a bank account, or our stocks that just wander up and down and all around. We really need something we can fall back on. So that's when we really seriously started 2018 for sure, when it was, where I was buying Eagles at $300 a tube and complaining about it, right?
Dude, I
can't
remember
believe that $300
I remember
a tube.
playing like 350, 360 a tube. I remember I would not buy constitutional silver unless I got it for $10.50 times face or less.
Yep.
And now it's like 22, 23,
know.
29. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, so we were able to. I bought quite a few off a guy on Craigslist, and tubes of Eagles, and $15-16 a piece. And glad I stacked. Now I wish I would have stacked more, but I don't tend to publish how much we have of different things, but we got a lot over just a few years, and just like I say, just getting focused on it and cutting back and knowing that. You got to get something. You got to get this going. It's not going to get going by itself, right? You got to make a conscious effort to budget to keep your stack going.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
So this one guy I met who all my constitutional junk silver videos a few years ago are off of, this guy was calling me like 3 times a week and wanting to sell me $60 face, $70 face.
I remember that. You're getting good deals.
I was getting it $3-4 below spot, and of course, as you talk about the comments, people like, the guy's a loser, the guy's stealing the stuff, the guy's ripping people off. The guy, I would talk to the guy and go, hey, why? But for him, he knew that he could call and flip it right then.
He can get the money instantly.
He didn't have to place ads. He didn't have to do this, let go, things like that. And
possibly get robbed. Right?
Right.
Possibly get robbed by somebody on those apps.
So I would talk to them a few times and say, I just want to make sure we're on the up and up. That's all I can do, right? I asked them, challenged them, where is this coming from? It just is weird that, but we had such a relationship. But, there's times when he's calling me and he's like, I got 60 times face, 70 times face for 9X, 10X. We're like, crap, that's another $700, right? But I knew the minute I said no, there are 100 people in line to get that stuff, and I never wanted him to call somebody else.
Well, and
right?
you could, if you ever couldn't afford it, you could have bought it and immediately sold it to a coin shop or online for at least spot. You know what I mean?
Right. So for whatever reason, we had him hooked up for over a year, and then the pandemic and some other events in his life kind of changed things, and things are just different now, right? And he did happen to mention something to me one time about somebody, someplace, and I actually. Kind of maybe found one of his resources, but anyway, and that again was such a blessing for us because it allowed us to grow our stack with some great. Who doesn't like constitutional silver, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get rid of that, some people like to criticize it and things like that, but there's I went and looked last week. There was 3 of the online bullion dealers that don't even have any in stock. Now some people say it's because the price dropped and they don't want to sell it that cheap. Possibly. But constitutional silver, when we went into the pandemic, we had other different things going on. That stuff is gone.
And there's still places and coin shops like literally melting it down every week.
That's right.
We're losing more and more constitutional every week.
I think if we actually knew how much was available, it'd be worth a lot more because I don't think there's as much as we think there is. And the thing is that if I decide not to sell it and you decide not to sell it, you can't get it. It's not being manufactured.
Did you see my Chicago video? LCS?
Probably.
I posted not too long ago, Chicago LCS.
I watch all your videos.
There you go. Okay, I like it. Smash that like button. Smash that like button and subscribe. But anyways, he pulled a bucket. He's like, I'm going to send this to refinery. And it was a bunch of mercury dimes I bought off him, And people are just still melting down all this foreign and all this constitutional like it's nothing. It's just shocking. Like, why would you melt down mercury dimes? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's what one of the dealers told me too. He said, I'll get it and I'll just sell it off to a refinery. I go, why would you do that? He goes, I can't hold it. I got to get rid of it. They'll give me cash, gets it out of my store. I said,
and that's why I always ask, hey, do you have any silver that you're going to send to the refiner? I'll buy it from you at spot. Because when you sell it to a refiner, they get less than spot.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's my little trick. And I used to go in before the pandemic. I might start trying again now that people have been moving about selling things. But I'd go and say, hey, do you have any foreign silver, any silver you're sending to the refiner? I'll buy it all from you at spot price. And I'd walk out of these places with like $600-700 worth of silver.
Yeah, another thing I found with the starting of the beer flu was that the 5 ounce and 10 ounce bars were gone almost immediately. Now, I've never been much of a bar guy. I don't know, it just never happened. I like the coins, like the rounds. But I was like, if those things get sold out, maybe I should have some of those in my stack too.
Bro, diversify that stuff.
So I started buying some, Scottsdale bars and some different kinds of bars
Scottsdale.
and things like that. So
Did the bars grow on you a little bit once you started getting
they
them?
did. In fact, my pocket piece.
Okay.
My pocket piece.
Oh yeah, and look at the toning on that. That is epic. I just really, really love Scottsdale. When I was in Arizona, I tried to go check them out, but it was during the beer flu and all that. But that's some nice toning on that.
It's kind of nice, and your silver's good for. I mean, just pull it out and just I don't know. There's something about silver I just love.
Yeah, there is.
So we started picking up a few more bars and stuff, just to kind of like I said, to diversify into the stack and have things. But so yeah, it's just stacking's fun. Another thing I read too a while back, I read an article that said when things got tough, I don't know if it was back in the 80s, and people were sending silver to refineries would take your 90%, but it would take them longer to refine. They'd give you less money for it, and they'd wait to give you the money because they had to process it. Mm-hmm. But if you brought in 999, they'd take and give you the money right away because they could melt it and be done with it, ship it back out. That's another thing when we got really heavy on constitutional. It's like, need to make sure we're pulling in that 999 too, because constitutional is great, but there are some consequences to it too.
Everything plays a little piece of the puzzle.
It does.
Like I think if we got into like a true like post-apocalyptic like SHTNS scenario, I think constitutional would be some of the best to trade and barter with people. And people say this all the time, and I get this. They go, well, during SHTNF, you're not going to be able to spend that silver and gold. That's not the freaking point. Mm-hmm. The point is to get your wealth from one side to the other. Now, as things start to calm down, and it's not like true SHTNF anymore, but society starts to recover, you can actually barter with people and maybe have markets without like people just rolling through and massacring. You know what I mean? Like what would happen, like rolling gangs. Right. Silver and gold are going to play a very critical part.
I agree.
And constitutional is extremely easy for the general public to notice because they can just learn, anything 1964 and below is silver, okay. And you can give a silver dime or silver quarter or silver dollar.
People say that's one of the cons. It's like, you'd have to educate people, and they wouldn't know. And Roosevelt dying because there's some clad and some. No, people would get it. It's not that complicated.
Pre-1964,
people would get it pretty quick, right?
Yeah, 1964 below.
I don't like that argument because I don't really think that's a real argument.
It's an idiotic argument.
If you got 90% silver, it's worth a ton. You're going to learn real fast, right? So.
Yeah.
But I love the constitutional silver. I mean, the history that's in your hands. I mean, that stuff is just so cool.
I love the silver dollars. Imagine like walking in a bar, flipping it, and being like, "Shots for the boys." You know why they call them shots, don't you? You probably know this.
No.
So a shot glass, you used to be able to get it for a bullet, a shot.
Oh.
So if you didn't have money, like bullets were currency back then. Yeah. And I think in an SHTNF scenario, bullets would definitely be currency. I think alcohol would be currency. I think antibiotics, things like that would be currency. But yeah, you literally put down a shot from like their 6-shooter or whatever and be like, let me get a shot.
Yeah, I mean, the wife and I, we prep other things as well. And in fact, we were just out shopping yesterday for some things. And we talked about the various things, ammo, the alcohol, maybe having a couple cases of, I mean, we're not vodka drinkers, but I mean, in a bartering, in an SHTF situation, that stuff can be pretty valuable.
Well, with alcohol too, one thing I would recommend is getting higher proof stuff. Because not only can you sell it for drinking, but it's flammability purposes, sterilization purposes, you know what I mean? So there's more than one use for the alcohol as well.
Absolutely. And so, like anything else, it's just something to have just in case. You never know, right?
And guess what? Nothing happens. At least you have it and not need it, and you can throw a killer freaking New Year's party. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And that's the thing with stacking, and that's the thing with preparedness. Even FEMA, Department of Homeland Security, says people should be able to be self-sufficient for anywhere from 72 hours to 3 weeks. Okay? Do you want to be that person on top of your roof waving help for a Coast Guard chopper to pick you up saying we have no food and water? Or do you want to be on your roof needing to get picked up because you didn't evacuate, but at least you have food and water to sustain yourself? You can wait for as long as it's going to take. You don't have 2 days or 3 days or 4 days before you're done. You know what I mean? So to me, it's just foolish not to at least prepare on a certain level. And having stuff that doesn't depend on refrigeration, obviously. But like even in my different places I go, like I've got a few locations across the U.S. because you know me, I travel so much. And every single one of them, I have like 6 months of emergency foods and buckets. Even like apartments I have, you know what I mean? I have buckets. So
Yeah, because you never know, right?
And
You
if you're in
never
an
know.
apartment and you can't stack a bunch, the buckets are easy. You can have 3-4 buckets, put them under your stairs in a closet, forget about it. Oh, preparedness.com. You guys will find the best deal on emergency food anywhere on the internet, I promise. And it lasts for 25 years. But if you can't do water, which I understand because I have an apartment in one location I go, it's something called a water bob. A water bob. It's like 10, 15 bucks on freaking Amazon. And what happens is if something's going down, you put it in your bathtub, it fills up like a giant rubber thing, fills up as much water as in your bathtub and has a little pump on it. So there's many ways to skin the cat if you have a smaller footprint, if you don't have a house or a larger area. There's different ways to be prepared. The only issue with the water bob would be is if you're in a very earthquake prone area, then the earthquake happens, might have issues getting water at that point if everyone else is depleted.
So your bathtub's filled with water, you put this water bob in and it like gives you the ability to like pump it out, or what does
No,
it do?
it hooks. It's a giant plastic reservoir that's in a little square. You pull it out, and it's the size of your bathtub. And as you fill it, it expands like a giant water balloon.
Gotcha.
And the water bob's like actually it's like that far over your bathtub, and it holds like all kinds of water. And then it has you can seal it when you're done filling it. And then it has a little pump with like a tube that you could like pump it into a cup or a canteen or anything.
Yeah, water bob. I haven't heard of those. That's great
Like
advice.
10, 15 bucks on Amazon, water bob. I mean, I think everyone should have it in their house. And the first thing you do, depending on what kind of scenario it is especially if you have kids or something, but freaking put the water bob on, freaking turn your faucet on and go freaking do other stuff. Just to make sure to come back and check, because as the water bob fills, it would clog the drain, and if the water bob like overflowed, you might flood your freaking house. So make sure to check on it, otherwise you might flood your house.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah, water bob. Also, too, you know about life straws? Those are great.
Yep, we have several of those in a couple different locations.
Yeah, those things are great. And guess what? If you never need it, you don't need it. But if you do need it, you're going to be happy you spent $15 on Amazon. You know, you want to be sitting on the roof of your house being like, why did I not just, do X, Y, Z? Right? Why did I not? So that's what all this is. You drive around, you put on your seatbelt, it's all the same thing. So I've got a question for you. I've been seeing a lot of articles and videos and people talking about shortages, So one thing that happened with the beer flu, obviously, is a lot of people freaking stayed home. And they're having people getting back to work because people were making more staying home than going to work. So there's been a lot of talk on shipping, the supply chain. It's getting much more expensive now with all these container ships getting stuff around. But also, too, there's not the stockpiles of supplies or anything more. So, like, I saw a video today of some lady in Walmart. She's like, what am I missing? Why are all these black buckets on these shelves? And it's a giant long shelf full of black buckets. But what that told me is Walmart had nothing to put those shelves on, so they just spread out the black buckets so it didn't look empty. Are you noticing, and I'm seeing a lot of videos, but I've been to this few supermarkets here, and I haven't noticed any shortages per se, but have you noticed shortages in supermarkets and stuff you're going to? Like, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think we're going to have a major crisis moving forward, or?
I have not noticed. Well, yesterday I was in a popular grocery store around here, and I noticed that almost all their toilet paper was gone.
Oh no!
We went to Costco and they had limit one per customer, so they are starting to put limits on those again.
So the great toilet paper wars.
Yeah, here that's coming back. But things like the Lysol wipes and things which you couldn't get back then, they're all on clearance. It's like they have so many of them.
Everyone's stocked up on those. Yeah.
So food-wise, though, I really haven't noticed any shortages. But I have been, like you said, I have been noticing the news is saying, stuff coming in California on the ships. They can't get them unloaded. They don't have any labor to get that stuff unloaded.
Let's pause right here. Now's the time to stock up on N95 masks. Whether you think the beer flu is real or not, or they protect or not, the one thing I can tell you is N95 masks is what medical providers use. I used to be a medical provider. They will protect you from a lot of different things. So now's the time to put some N95 masks in your stock. And you want to get the duckbill N95 masks because those are much more forgiving. Technically, you should be fit tested when you get an N95 mask, and it's a very specific way, but the ones that are duckbill N95s, they're flat, they lay in, easier to store, and they're more forgiving when you put them on your face. Okay, sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
No, that's good advice because there may come a time and soon that you can't get them again, right? So get them while they're in stock.
In my first beer flu videos, I was saying stack food, I was saying get these N95 masks, all that, and within 3 weeks of those videos, no one could get N95 masks. Even the emergency food, all that was jacked. All the supermarkets were like effed. The one thing I did not predict was toilet paper. I did not see that one coming. You know, it's funny, in a survival scenario, really, like toilet paper is not as critical as these other things. You could use a freaking leaf if you had to, right?
But it could be great bartering stuff, though. You know, it really could be.
I guess people don't want to poop with flowers, you know what I mean? So back to what we were talking about. So you said you're talking about shortages maybe with like international shipping and things.
Yeah, these big containers that come in from China and things like that, they're sitting out in the water. I think I heard the other day 72 were sitting out. 72 ships were out in the water and couldn't unload because there's nobody to unload them.
Oh, they're like people. Well, I can tell you in this hotel, you guys, I'm in a very nice hotel, and they're short-staffed here. I literally, first off, you have to let them know when you get your room cleaned and they schedule it. But secondly, like I called down for some towels and shampoo because I'm one that usually never gets my room cleaned. If I'm staying somewhere a long time, I might do it once or twice, but I don't like people rolling around in my stuff. But anyways, like I had to come down to the front desk and pick up towels and shampoo at this hotel. And guys, this is an extremely nice hotel.
It is.
And I had to come down and get my own stuff. And I'm like, wow. And you know, another thing I noticed here in Detroit, every restaurant I've eaten at, they automatically put the tip on, which irritates me. I'm actually a really good tipper, and I'll tip more, but if they automatically put the tip on, I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just do it. But I asked a guy yesterday, I went to get some sushi at a place, I'm like, hey, is this a Detroit thing? Because there's been very few places I'm at that add a tip. The only experience I've had before being here of tips being added is if you roll in with like a group of 10 people or something.
Right,
you know what I mean? Because they want to make sure they get the right. And he's like, actually, we never used to do it. He's like, but what happened is people weren't coming back to work because people weren't really tipping well. He said, so what they told us is they started doing this to tell the workers to come back, like, hey, you're guaranteed tips. Like, you're not going to have a jerk that, you know, just doesn't tip you and, you know, you get screwed. So it seems like a result of the beer flu here, at least, is every restaurant I've been here to automatically adds the tip. And that's been in this hotel, 2 restaurants. That's been like 3 or 4 of the restaurants I've been to around the city. All different types of fancy, non-fancy. Literally every single one of them added a tip on
Is
there.
it 20%? Is that what they're adding, or is it very? I'm not really sure.
I didn't calculate. I think it's 15 or 20%.
I can see some people getting upset about that, though. I can see where some people would be like, ain't paying it. Take it off my bill. I mean, we're always good tippers, too, because those people work hard. You know?
I mean, I'm sure if you press the issue, they would take it off. Because, like, I didn't agree to pay a tip when I came. I mean, I'm sure if you pressed it, but, like...
Or if you get crappy service, too.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'd have a thing if I got bad service, but I haven't. But, like, it's like... You know, I've been blessed, man. So I try to tip well.
Bless others, right?
And if someone gives crappy service, maybe they're having the worst day of their effing life. You know what I mean? So
That's right.
I try to have a heart and have mercy on people. But sometimes I rule with an iron fist. No, I'm kidding.
No, I haven't noticed that out in our area, but we don't actually go out to dinner that much.
So TB, tell me. And the TB does not stand for tuberculosis, which an N95 mask protects against. It stands.
Good to know.
It stands for Talking Bullion. So where can people find you? What kind of content are they going to find on your channel? It's a belly dancing channel, right?
No.
Okay.
And 95 Mass channel for TV.
There you go.
YouTube.com/Talking Bullion. That'll get you there. And silver stacking. I've got some great videos on junk silver. You know, the 101, you know, just I put out a series of junk silver videos that I thought were pretty good. I put a lot of time in them. Everything you need to know. Unboxings, I did a great video on Geiger bars and the history of Geiger and the different ones that I have. I mean, Geiger's a pretty cool company.
I like Geiger.
They've been around since the 1200s. I mean, they've
1200s?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're a premium silver company, of course, but they keep their premiums too. You buy it high, you're going to sell it high, and so just all things gold and silver. So
And I know you do live streams.
haven't done them lately, but yeah.
Do you do auctions? I don't remember.
No,
You don't
no
do
auctions,
auctions, do you? But I remember going on a few of your live streams, you and Mrs. TB.
Yeah, we had them Monday nights at 9 o'clock for 3 years, but we recently, with the things we were talking about earlier, stopped doing them for a while. Took a little break, you know.
Yeah.
But live streams are cool, you know. You just you get to know people. Week after week, the same people join, and you start developing relationships with people. Live streams are really cool. We really enjoyed them a lot. But for now, we took a little break.
And do you have an Instagram or anything?
I do.
And what's that? Just
Talking Bullion 18. I think they added an 18 to it for some reason when I did. I'm not really sure why, but I think it's Talking Bullion 18.
Those mother effers.
And I don't get on that much. I've posted a few things. I need to spend a little bit more time on Instagram. I think posting some stuff. So I got some cool stuff to post. I just gotta do it.
Well, you heard it, guys. If you want to see some cool content, if you want to see some cool content, head over to Talking Bullion. He's taken a hiatus over the past month, but don't let that dissuade you. He just told me about the most epic video that's going to come out, and ladies and gentlemen, it may change your life. It may be the secret to life. So I'm looking forward to that video, hopefully coming soon. I'm waiting with bated breath. But dude, thanks so much for meeting me. Second time I met you in person.
Yeah, it's really cool.
What are we gonna say?
See you on the next one.
Catch you on the next.
Catch you on the next one.
Everyone always says it. Catch you on the next one. All right, guys. Catch you later.
Take it easy.
One stacker.